How are you? It's Laurel, the Dabbling Hook. I was going to say it's been a minute, but it hasn't been that much of a minute because I did the fall hop, seasonal yarny YouTube hop. I'm squinting because progressives, and I'm trying to get used to it, and without it, things are a bit blurry, and I can't stand that. I'm in that in-between stage where my old glasses work still for distance, but up close, everything's blurry. And the new glasses, I am having a hell of a time getting used to it, and now I can see the light ring. It's just weird. Anyway, it's nighttime. It's Sunday night at, well, it's not even night, evening at 5:27, but it's almost pitch black out. Ugh. How are you guys doing? I'm doing okay. I'm tired all the time, but I've said that before, right? Anyway, tired, busy, just want to do nothing, and there's plenty to do. But hope you guys are doing well. If you are new here, thank you for stopping by. I hope you subscribe, but if you don't, thanks for stopping by again, like I said. And if you're one of the OGs, I'd rather be toasting you with something else, but I've got my authentic mason jar mug, ceramic mug, and I'm drinking tea that's left over from my craft beer yesterday. I have a thermos that keeps stuff warm for like 24 hours, and it is still warm this morning, and it's been over 24 hours actually since I put it in there, so I'm having warm, on the cooler side, warm tea. Anyway, why are we here? I figured it's been a while since I've shown items or given an update, and everything looks very, even though I have the lights on, I have my overhead light on, which is the yellowish light, which is probably what's causing it because it's very yellow. Anyway, I've got a ring light, and I bought a new stand that I saw, I think, on TikTok, and yet again I fell for it and I bought it, and it's more for phones rather than my camera, so I have my camera jury rigged on it to try to hold it up, so hopefully it doesn't fall, and if you see things wobble, it's because it wasn't made, I guess, to support the weight of a camera. And that has two little lights on the side, and my ring light's behind it, and it still looks yellowy. So, and I also have my desk lamp that has the different temperature ranges, and it's on the cool one, and it's still yellow. Anyway, hopefully you can see it, and if once I'm editing, hopefully I'll be able to brighten it up. All that to say, craft fairs. This is a kind of a recap of the craft fairs. I've had 5 since September, because I think I talked about my spring craft fairs, which had gone well. I did 2 of those in May and June. So far I've done 4 of my fall craft fairs, 3 in September, 1 in October. I wasn't going to do any in October, but I signed up for one at the end, at the last minute. That one turned up better than expected, and then I just did one yesterday. Today's Sunday, I did one yesterday. So 5 so far. I have 1, 2 left, as well as a 2-hour shopping night boutique. So 2.5 left for the season. So my last video was from before the fall fair started. I had been making a bunch of stuff, and I hadn't shown them, hadn't had the time, forgot to do clips and all that. So I showed all of those. What else? What else? I've been making stuff, and again, especially this time of year, I make it, and it's too dark to take a picture. And when I get home from work, it's already done. When I leave, it's dark, and when I get home from work, it's too dark to take pictures, so I don't bother. And sometimes I can find somewhere, if I'm working on stuff at work and I finish, I can find somewhere to take a picture. That's not the case because we don't have dedicated desks anymore. We're in open areas, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, before the fall fair started in September, I had to price some stuff. So I decided to take that opportunity to get all my amigurumis and try to do an inventory of sorts. I'm not as dedicated as some of those people we watch who do their craft fair preps and inventory stuff. Yeah, I need to get better at it, but I'm not. But I did go through and inventory everything, and turned out I have a whole lot of stuff, but it never feels like you have enough. And I think part of it is because the stuff that I still have, it's stuff that didn't sell, so in my mind it's like, oh, nobody really wants it, blah blah blah. So anyway, of the stuff I had, I did inventory, and it turned out I had over 300 items. I had a little bit from leftover from previous craft fairs, but most of it was stuff that I had made this year, at the end of last year, at the end of craft fair season, and through this year. I made a lot. And because I was doing the 2 spring fairs, I was on an amigurumi kick, so I made a lot. So I had over 300 items, totaling almost $5,500 of, based on what I priced them for, over $5,500, or almost at the time. $54.96 is what I had. I've since made a bunch that I haven't added to this at all. And a lot of the stuff you're going to hear throat clearing, that's Father Minion over there. Yeah, so I have a lot, even though it feels like I don't, because I think part of it too is that I see what people are making, and I guess what's selling for them, and you get into that, like, oh, what's popular, and I try not to hop on too much onto the popular thing unless I really like it, like the Mabel chicken that was doing well and it hasn't been. It's the nature of the stuff, you know. You make stuff, people like it in the beginning, and then everyone's making it, it becomes what's the word? I don't want to say trite, but common. Hopefully there isn't any flickering of lights in the video because my ring light is not behaving itself. I don't know why, but anyway, what was I? Yeah, so I'm going to try to remember what happened. I have what sold at the craft fair. There are things that I've made along the way that I didn't get a chance to photograph, like I said, so I will try to remember. And I have my phone to try to go through my camera roll to see if I remember anything that I didn't write down. So, and again, I try to post everything I make on Instagram the last week or so. I haven't, because I haven't been able to take photos because of, you know, no lighting, no space, all that good stuff. It would be great one day to have like a little corner set up just to take pictures, and I think that would work for me if I only did amigurumis, but because I have wearables too, I need height, and the boxes there are small for small things, so it's and I'm just realizing because of my camera setup I may be a little tilted, so take it as it is. Alright, after all that prattling, my let's see, first fair was let's see, September 14th. That one I hadn't done before. It was run by the same people who did one of the spring craft fairs. Unfortunately, I thought it was going to be in the same location. It wasn't. They moved it further in from, the spring one was close to the street. They moved it further in. And I think the only thing that saved us is across from us they had bouncy houses and things for kids, so even the people who came kind of didn't know where it was, and once they started coming there, you know, they filtered over to the craft area. I don't think that was really well advertised, so it is what it is. And they also had food that was way down, far away from where we were, so that also kept people away, because where they had the food is where they were like breweries and stuff like that, so obviously people stayed that way. But I ended up selling 43 items, which is not bad. When it started, I had actually I had poor expectations of what to expect from them. Kind of just repeated myself. Anyway, I had poor expectations of how the day was going to be based on the way people were walking around. People weren't really looking. The people who started coming were there just for the kids in the bouncy houses. But it turned out okay. I actually made my threshold, which surprised me. But what sold? The big sellers, again, turtles. The turtles have been doing well for me. Lately, the mini turtles, or the smaller ones, have been doing well. Hopefully if I have a picture, I will show that. A lot of this may be pictures, if editing doesn't take too long and I can find the pictures to show you. But the mini turtles, my regular turtles are from they go from $22 to $30, depending on if it's the big yarn and how big they turn out. $22 to $30, that's my regular and bigger turtles. And then my smaller ones go from $10 to $18, depending on the size. You could see the difference in sizes. So I sold 10 mini turtles, and I think those were anywhere priced from $10 to $15. And then I sold 2 regular turtles, so 12 turtles in total. Not bad. I sold a whale. I think that was my last whale. No, I had 2 whales, so that was one of them sold. What else? Dragons. Dragons are, I don't want to say popular, but they've been selling well for me so far. I use the, I had sold one from Loops and Knots Crochet. I made 2. One sold at the spring fair, and this other one I've been carrying for a while. It still hasn't sold. But the smaller ones sell really well. And oh my gosh, I don't remember who it's by. Kim of the Crafty Nomad. She just made the ones that I think she saw my Instagram post, and then she made those. So Kim, those have been doing really well for me. But what was I? Dragons, I sold 3, like I said. Axolotls are up and down. They were doing well for a while, but they're very up and down right now. At this fair, I sold just 1. Capybaras, people, when they see them, they love them, and they have been kind of up and down. At my spring fair, they sold well. Right now, it's like onesie twosie, so I sold 1 at this one. Dinos, the Triceratops do really well. Do them in different colors, but those have been doing very well. But at this fair, again, and this fair was kind of okay attended, so you know, take what the number of things I sold, I'm not mad at it because of, like I said, it wasn't well advertised and the attendance was iffy. And people actually showed up towards the end because the whole event was going from 1 to 9, but the vendor part of it was only 1 to 5, and people didn't know that, and they started coming towards the end and were surprised when they saw people packing up. So again, advertising wasn't well done. Ducks. Overall, ducks are still doing well. In the spring, the mallards, and even last year, the mallards would fly off the shelf first. They still tend to fly off first when I make the ducks. I would take, just like if I find a duck pattern, and just do it in the mallard color scheme, and those seem to go first than my regular ducks. But I sold 1 mallard and 1 regular duck. And it's based on, I think at this point it was one of the free Instagram round ducks that I sold, but just made it in the mallard patterns. There's a tutorial on YouTube, and I don't remember who it's by. I want to say, hopefully I'll remember and put the name on the screen when I'm editing. But that one tends to go better, that shape. Mermaids, I had 4 mermaids. One was a free tutorial or free pattern I think I got off of Pinterest. And then the other one was a paid pattern, I think, by Madeline Made Co. I will put them on the screen. So I made 3 big ones, and then the little one was the free one. 3 of those sold at this first one. The last one ended up selling at my next craft fair, but we'll talk about that. Octos have not been selling well for me this year at all. Hit or miss. I'm finding, though, the less of them I put on the shelf, I think I heard somebody say that, don't overcrowd your tables because it becomes too much for people to see. the more interest it's gaining. So, or the more, I guess people's eyes tend to draw to it, so don't put too much all at once. Because I don't make the repeat of, like, you know, one thing in like multiple colors, or not multiple colors, but the same color but multiple of that one thing. I'm into the colors, and I make, you know, depends on what yarn. I put yarns together or whatever I have available. So I tend to want to put them all because they're all different out, but I need to remember to hold off and just put a few on at one time. Let's see. But I did have a jumbo octo that has been with me for a while. It's probably about yay big. And this girl wanted it, and her grandma bought it for her. Pigs. I have a pig which is a, oh, what is their name? Passionate? No, not Passionate Kelsey. It's Passion Crocheter or something like that. But it's their pig that I did. Made 2 of those. Those sold. I made it out of blanket yarn, and those sold. And I also made the same pig out of the Posh yarn in this gray color. And that I've been carrying around for now, what, 5 craft fairs, and people touch it, but for some reason, so I don't know if it's the texture of the Posh or whatever, the way it came out. So I'm going to make a couple more pigs, but in regular blanket yarn, to see how those do. Not how those do, because I know they sold, but whether or not they sell opposed to the Posh yarn ones, because that one hasn't sold. Possums are still a popular item. I make it in, the gray ones tend to go first, the typical gray, black, and white colorway, but I make them in all different colors. Hang on a second. Okay. I made a few in Dollar Tree. The Just Chenille yarn came out with a, I don't know what it's called, speckled or marled kind of colorway. And these. There's that color. There is a, like a light browny color. There's a blue one, like this red. I've made them in that. The last of mine just sold at the last craft fair, but the rainbow yarn that Lisa of Happy to Hook, and earlier I think I said Lisa with the dragons. It was Kim of the Crafty Nomad, I think. So if I said Kim, forget this. If I said Lisa, I meant Kim. Anyway, but hang on again. Okay, I made some with this rainbow yarn that Lisa had shown, and this you get off of Amazon, and it's like 18 bucks, 17 something for a 3-pack. I think well worth it. It's pricey, but it's well worth it. It is called Chenille Velvet yarn. Go ahead, upside down. It's this, and it is, if I can see now, it's funny. My parents used to make fun of my parents when you gave them something to read, and they used to put it in front of them. And now here I am. It's 100 grams, 3.5 ounces, 87 yards. It's small, but it's well worth it because the chenille, just chenille, oh, that's only 65 yards. I didn't realize. So you do get more out of this, but it's still pricey. So basically, like, if you round it up to $18, like $6 a skein, which is a lot compared to the just chenille, so it's very pricey. But I use it sparingly. I use it for the little squid, not squids, the little, what are they? Stingrays by Shadu Crochet. I think it's Shadu Crochet, Crouton, something. You guys have seen it, the little cute little stingrays that I absolutely adore. I'd mentioned before when I first made them, I made like 16 of them in one go because they're just so adorable and they take so little yarn. But that, I was saying, for the possums, I made the nose in this. I made a couple with the full, most of the body in this, but doing just the nose or little bits of color in that, yeah, comes in very handy, but this is very popular. Alright, where was I? 20 minutes. It's probably gonna shut off on me soon. What else did I sell? Did I say squids? I did one squid. one snake, and 3 of the stingrays that I was talking about, the little stingrays. I sold 3 of those. And for wearables, I know it was early in the season, but I did sell 1 headband. Headbands used to be like a sure seller for me, and so I have a good bit of them that I make, and I use like leftover yarn, especially when I make my 2-button cowls to make those. But they have not been selling well at all, so I don't have to worry about making them. But when I want something quick and easy, I do make them if I have the leftover yarn. I sold 1 ruffle hat. People do find them hilarious and interesting and different. I know that the ones I have now, I made 2 small ones, which doesn't fit a lot of people, and then I have 3 larger ones, but I use the divine hat pattern, and I think it's stretched because I think the weight of the ruffle has stretched the hat, so I'm very much contemplating unraveling it because it's not going to do any good to me now. A few people have tried them on and they definitely are big. I'm thinking of pulling it apart and redoing it, doing the hat part either shorter or with a smaller hook, and then doing the ruffles, so I might. I sold 2 2-button cowls. 1, the fringe triangle cowl, which they've been hit or miss. I usually sell 1 or 2 here during the season, but so far they've been doing very well for me. If I sell 1, you know, I'm happy with that. And I go like multiple craft fairs without selling 1, so almost every one of my craft fairs I've sold at least 1 so far. And then I sold what is it, an Yvette shawl that I have. What did I make it out of? I made it out of Loops and Threads Woolite that I tripled. Did I double it or triple it? Pretty sure I tripled it, because I had the yarn there forever, and I can't remember if it was for a reason, for something, or if I just made it. I'll have to go back and check, but I sold that. So yeah, 43 items that I sold there, not bad, and I reached my threshold for my craft fair, so can't complain. So, whole 20 plus minutes for craft fair number 1. Craft fair number 2 was the next day. Yes, the next day. This is the second time I've done back-to-back craft fairs. The good thing is this next craft fair has been my best so far. It's been my best for the last 3 years. Unfortunately, this was the last year. They've decided, they've been having it for years, over 20 plus years they've been doing it, and this was the last year. So quite disappointed that they're not doing it, but it's a lot of work. It's most of a street that's blocked out, and it's a lot of vendors, a lot of food vendors, a lot of performers, a lot of everything. It's a huge thing. So unfortunately it's the last year, which is a bummer. But it was my best craft fair. It will be my best craft fair through the season, and to date it's been my best craft fair. What's sold? Let's see, starting with the big thing, ducks. I sold 13 ducks. Ducks have been popular, like I said, especially the mallard ones. So if you find, even if you like a duck pattern, do it in the mallard colorway, and people just, at least around here, they're very much drawn to the mallard ducks. Also, I did one with, not latte, but to change my batteries as well, so hopefully I'm back to where I was. Who knows? Anyway, what was I talking about? What did I make? The ducks. I made it with Feels Like Bliss. I saw somebody they make little turtles with Feels Like Bliss, and it's all fuzzy and just, you know, like when you see pictures of things that's been like zapped and all the little hairs are standing on end. That's what it looked like, and it was so adorable. And I think she makes these small turtles that she sells for like 25 bucks, because using this yarn, I can see kind of why she charges, because the yarn is a little pricey, and I think only at Michael's it's available in stores that I found, and I think I ordered mine off Amazon, I think. no, I might have gone into Michael's just to get one to try it before I bought it off Amazon. And it does come out really adorable, but it's a pain to work with. It's very slippery. Like, not slippery as in it glides on the hook, slippery as in, I don't know if you knit and you use metal needles and how things just feel like it's always going to fall off the needle. That's kind of like slippery it is. It's kind of hard to hold, at least for me. It's just, it takes somebody who knows what they're doing to deal with this yarn, I think. But the outcome is awesome because it's very tactile. It's very kind of like what latte, when you make stuff with latte cakes, it's kind of like that. But it's almost like it has a haze or a glow or halo to it. But yeah, feels like bliss. And I got this one in Sand Dollar as a colorway, just to give it a try. I'm very tempted to buy, I think it came in a 3-pack on Amazon, but it was just all the same color. But who knows, I may give it another try. But as I was saying, I made a duck with that, and it was touched a lot. It just sold at this last craft fair, and a little boy bought it. I think his sister and mom and the dad was waiting off, and he just came and he just had it like this, and he turned to his mom like what he wanted was like this, and it was just like, he was just like that. So that was awesome. But adding that to like regular yarn, holding it double, adds extra interest, and it was that duck that got touched so much. I think that's where I started with all this before my before my camera died. But where were we? This one I sold an Emineko cat that I made last year. I think right before Christmas, my last not before Christmas, for my last December show, I made an Emineko, and I can't believe I haven't made one yet this year, and it's on my list of to do. I just haven't gotten around to it. I actually made one, but I didn't do the stuffing. I just kind of used the general pattern, and I made a snuggler, a lovey out of it, and that was bought by like a whole grown-up guy at the Worcester Fair. So but the one that sold, the woman who bought it, she has been to my booth the last, I think, 2 or 3 times I did the fair there, and she's a cat person, obviously, but she remembered me, and she was telling me that the cats that she had from me before, and she bought that one. But I made the Emineko cat in plush yarn, and then I just added like a little elf hat to it. That's not that's not part of the pattern. I just added it because it was in like fall Christmassy colors, and she bought that, and that was a pretty big one. I sold 4 axolotls there. That was good. I did Baby Yoda, but it was not like a full Baby Yoda. It was just like the ball kind of shaped one with the scarf around the neck and then the ears. And I made one, a boy one and a girl one in pink, and the pink one sold. 2 bees. Bees haven't been doing well for me, so I'm not in any rush to remake anything that I have once it's sold out. I'm not going to be in a rush to make it. Or if I do, I may make it smaller than what I've made. I've made the ones that are the like the sitting up ones with the 2 little, I guess, antennae. Those are still there. They're slowly selling, but anything bigger than that takes a while to sell, so they're not doing very well. 4 capybaras sold, which is good. 5 loaf cats. I think that was the place I sold the most loaf cats. Yeah, because I still have quite a bit of them left. And if I make them, I'm just making the smaller ones, or the black cats, which seem to draw in people's attention more. Let's see. Like I said, chickens aren't doing so great, but I did sell 4 at this craft fair. And mind you, this is like the really big craft fair, so that accounts for the number. I sold 1 cow. Those aren't doing well for me, but I think I haven't made them in the typical white and black or white and brown colorways. They are in whatever yarn I had at the time, and I think I have like I have 2 different styles. The ones with the 2 legs that you make and then you do the body going up, And then the one I bought from, I think it's Toy Story AU on Etsy. It's like a ball shaped, the bobble shaped ones. Yeah, those aren't selling, and they're in not, I guess, typical cow colors. So I keep meaning to make typical colors, but I never get around to it. Dinos, I sold 9 of them there, 5 of which were the Triceratops. Again, those are very popular. They're small enough, small for the younger kids, and it depends on how you price them. You know, that might work for you. Dogs, I have 4 puppies that I made, and it was a tutorial off YouTube. I can't remember which one, but yeah, I sold 2 of those. Again, dragons, I sold 3 mini dragons. I don't think I had, because I did back-to-back shows, because I sold 3 at the previous shows and then 3 at this show. I didn't have, obviously, time to make any more because they were back-to-back shows. Ducks, I sold 13. I think I said that. I jumped to the first one, the highest selling first when I started this video, so now I'm going down the list. So again, I sold 13 ducks. I had goose. I think it's from Instagram. It's what's her name? Crochet. She has that sleeping goose with the long neck, the long floppy neck. One I made in mallard colors, and one I made in just hot pink, and the mallard sold at this fair. Let's see, the mini elephants. It's a Instagram pattern. I sold 1. I'd shown the flamingos that I had made as a special order. I couldn't decide which style to make, so I ended up making 4 different ones. The person picked one, and I had 3 left. So one of them sold at this fair. All of them did eventually sell, but one sold at this fair. Actually, no, 2 of them sold at this fair. I made a mini one by, I think the pattern is by Darling Maple Design. It's a free pattern. Again, Kim and the Crafty Nomad also made one as well. So I sold that one and a regular size one. Not the same pattern, a different pattern, but a bigger regular size one. I sold 4 frogs. 2 of them were was a pattern by Madeline Made Co. 1 gecko, I think that was the last one I had. I haven't made one in a while. Hot dogs. It's a pattern I bought. It's from Custom Crochet. She has a channel here on YouTube. I made 2 and one of them sold. A mini koala I've had since last year. That finally sold. Somebody actually came and asked for a koala, and it just so happens that was the one I had, and I've been carrying it around for a while. And that one was a free Instagram tutorial or pattern. One of my mermaids sold there. I think, was that all of them? Yeah, that was all the mermaids. So 3 sold at the last fair, and then 1 sold at this one. Monkeys. I had 4 monkeys. This was a small one that sold there. Mushrooms, again, another thing that's not used to be selling like hotcakes, not anymore. But I did sell 3 of those. Octos, I sold 4. Otters, I think I showed that in the previous video. I sold 1 of those. The owls that I showed that I made out of the, what do you call it? The peep squeak type yarn that I've had for a while, 1 of those sold. Possums, 9 possums. Again, possums are great. It's funny, at this show that I was yesterday, this woman, she had come through, seen the possums, kept going, because I was right close to the door when you walk in. So it's a pretty big, it's in a school, and it's a pretty big, it's like 3 levels. Not 3 like different floors, but like stepped up levels, so you could see all the way through. So she went looking around, then she came back and asked about it, because at some point their house, a possum had gotten in the house. And she said they're gross. They're, making a video.
Okay.
No noise. Thank you. Anyway, that was Minion 2. So you might hear life noises. Where was I? Possums. Like I said, one came into the house and she said they're big. They get very big. She said it went under a, like a, you know, the cabinets you have your fancy shiners and stuff in, the hutches. And she said it was underneath there. The snout was out, coming out one side, and then the tail was coming out. So it was gets to be a pretty big size. It was hissing at everybody and everything. So she said it gives her the heebie-jeebies all the time, so she wanted to buy one as a joke. But they all sold by the time she came back. What else? Da, da, da. Pumpkins. I sold 2 pumpkins. I've had those for a while. I did make some granny square pumpkins, and they're not going anywhere. No one's really seemed interested there. I have some pumpkins I made out of velvet yarn. Those are the ones that sold. And I think I have like 1 of those left, and then 4 pumpkins in the granny square pattern. Sharks. I sold 1 shark. It's by Loops and Knots Crochet. She has a tutorial on that. The snuggler I talked about, the guy who bought it, if I have a picture, it came out pretty big. I used Bernat Sparkle yarn, and that yarn still feels like the blanket yarn. It still feels like the old formula. It's definitely thicker, sturdier than the new softer version that we're used to now. But yeah, it was definitely an older. I want to say he was probably like 1920 maybe or so. Let's see. Da, da, da. I sold 2 snakes, 3 squids. Squids are popular. I usually make just 2 or 3 at a time, and those were gone then. What else? Turtles. I sold 15. 6 mini ones and 9 regular size ones. Well, can't go wrong there. Turtles are still very popular, but this show and the last one, people were definitely more interested in the mini ones, like the $10 to $15 range rather than the bigger ones. So I would recommend doing like the mini ones. I think I just do my own thing for the mini ones, but it's the one that's the style of I think it's called the oh, what is that? The tofu turtle type? Those, but I think mine are smaller than that. I sold a whale. I think that was my last whale. Yeah, that's gone. And for wearables, I sold 7 2-button cowls. Those have been doing very well. Those usually have been my one of my best sellers. Wearables like hats, headbands type. It's my 2-button cowls. So I sold 7 of those. My Anastasia hat. I do have a pattern for that on my Ravelry and Etsy stores. I sold 1 of those. The hats have not been going, yeah, last year or this year. They have not been selling well. You would think, being in New England, cold weather and all that, even when I do like November, December shows, they still don't sell because I don't have a lot of guys buying hats, and the ladies who I primarily make for, they don't want to mess up their hair. So, and the headbands used to kind of take care of that, because a lot of them, when they do buy it, say they use it when they go like walking their dogs and stuff. But yeah, the hats have not been doing well. I did sell one of my Bricks and Hearts hat. I couldn't remember the name, but the leaf poncho. It's a pattern by Shondell of oh my gosh, Shondell, your channel name just completely menopause brain. But anyway, it'll be down below. I bought her I bought her pattern, and I made it for it was last year. It was Setta's calendar cal. I made it for that, I think for February, and it just sold. It just sold this year, so you never know. I sold 2 fringed cowls, 5 headbands this time around, which is not bad. That's the most I've sold in one craft fair for a while now. And shawls. I've been selling shawls. Alright, so I sold the Fenna shawl. This was did I buy that one? Yeah, it was. I purchased that, and I had it for a while, and I decided to make it, and I'm trying to remember what I made it for, if it was part of a crochet along. But anyway, that sold. The Big Sky shawl, that is one of my go-to shawls if I just want to make a shawl and not really give it too much thought, because it's very easy pattern. It's like double crochets and I think single crochets when you get to the end. And you can, I usually add like, in knitting you call it eyelets, but like filet spaces, you know, the double crochet, chain one, skip one, just to give it some interest. Otherwise it's just double crochets all the way through. So just to break that up, I usually add that. So I sold one of those. It was a pretty big size shawl, and I want to say it was for last year's I think Carpe, the fall colors. If I remember, I'll put it on. I don't remember, but I sold that. No, it wasn't. It's one that I made out of yarn that I bought from Michael's on clearance that I've had for a while. Was it Michael's yarn? It wasn't Michael's yarn. It was AC Moore yarn that I've had when they used to sell it in the 5-pack. I think it was the Isaac Mizrahi yarn at the time, and I've had it there for a while, so I finally used it. That's why. The Perla shawl, which was part of my Make 9, that sold. And I made a sparkly virus shawl. I don't remember what I did that for. If that was for, I think that was from last year's Setta's calendar cal, I think. But it's a pretty big virus shawl, and I used Mainstays yarn, the newer, softer type Mainstays yarn, but the sparkle one, and it had like a taupey and dusty pink colorway in there. So that sold. So all in all, I sold 137 items, and it completely, like I said, it was my best fair. It was huge. It was huge. And it's the last year, so that's a bummer. Alright, next. A week later, I had another craft fair. So September was very busy, and it's one that I've done before. I think this is years 5 or 6 that I've done it. And it would have been, last year I did excellent there, and it would have been again this year, except it rained. And it rained, and it rained. It wasn't like downpour, but it was steady enough. And people did show up, surprisingly. I thought it would be dead, but people did show up. They just, I guess, weren't so much in a shopping mood. And the rain was on and off. It looked like it would like peter out for a while, and then it would start back and stop and start back. So, but people did show up, so I did appreciate that. But I ended up making about 1/5 of what I did last year, which it was still good. I didn't make my threshold, but given the weather, yeah, I can't complain. I ended up selling 20 items. Let's see. Possums, I sold 5 possums, 2 mallard ducks. My last mermaid sold there. 2 capybaras. One of them was, I had a big one. It's from a YouTube tutorial, and the tutorial is, she used worsted weight, and I think it's like keychain size, but obviously I used, did I use blanket yarn? I used the Michael's chenille Home Slim, and it came out pretty big, whereas hers was probably like this big. Mine came out big, and it finally sold. Little boy bought it, and he was just like in awe of it, so yeah. And I'm actually almost tempted to make another one of those big ones, because I only have 2 capybaras left out of all that I made. I made quite a few from 4 different patterns. No, 4 different patterns. I had quite a few of them, and I only have 2 left. Let's see, I think I had 2, 4, 6, 8 I made out of one pattern I bought off Etsy. I made one from another pattern, another one from a free pattern. So 8, 9, 10, and then the big one, 11. So 11 or 12, I think, capybaras, and I have 2 left. Let's see. I sold another big octo. It wasn't as big as the one that sold last time, but it was a pretty good size one. So I sold that, and that one I've had it for a while, and that finally sold. Where are we? One dragon, one duck, one mini pumpkin. It was like a really small one. And that one I've had for a while, at least 2 years. It's just been there, and I just decided to put it out for the heck of it, and it sold. 2 of the small stingrays, the Shadu stingrays, and then I sold 1 2-button cowl, another Anastasia hat, another Bricks and Hearts hat, and then a hat I make with just the hearts. My pattern has the bricks and hearts, and I also just use the hearts part and just make a hat. So I sold one of those, so 20 items, not bad. This is probably going to shut off on me, but I'm going to keep going. 2 more to go. Next craft fair. That one was the one I did at the end of October. So, little story. For October, Minion 1 is off in Italy doing a semester abroad, and we decided to go visit him. Actually, as soon as he said that, you know, he got in and he was going to go, we were like, oh, we're going to go visit. And that was like in the spring, and then obviously we went at the beginning of October. It was awesome. It was just good to go away, to get away, but it was awesome. We were in Florence, Italy, and it was definitely a place that you need to plan or pace yourself, because there's so much to see. The architecture is absolutely gorgeous. Everything, it's like old, big, massive buildings, and the doorways are so huge. And the streets are small, and Minion 1 wasn't fond of it's an old place, old sewer system, and you can smell it in different places, and yeah, not his thing. He's not used to city living. But it was a good time. I guess I'm a Philistine because I did not enjoy the pasta at all. It was too thick and doughy, and maybe it's just that region and the way they do theirs, but I did not like it at all. The meals, when you order, you can order like your starters, and then there's the first and second. The first could be like if you order pasta, it's almost like a full pasta meal, and then your second, you order like meats, like if you want the beef or chicken, you have to remember to order sides with it, otherwise you just get chicken. So yeah, that took getting used to. I was looking forward to just eating myself into a coma, and I was not hungry most of the time, which was surprising. But I definitely want to go back again, and this is about to shut. I got like 2 seconds before it shut off on me. Yeah, I definitely want to go back again and take our time and maybe do like at least a tour or something. We just went to visit and just to hang out, and it was just great. We went to the piazza that had the David statue. We did not go into the place because it's October, and we were close to the Duomo, another plaza. Picture it like New York, Times Square, the mass of people. That's what it was like. It was just, even at nighttime, and everything happens late over there, but even at nighttime, it was just full of people all the time. But the cathedral, or the museum that has the statue of David, we didn't go in, but outside there's replica of that and other statues, and it's just a piazza, like a plaza area out there. So it was nice to hang out at night and just do whatever. We also, one of the days, went to the Piazza di Michelangelo. It was uphill, so there was a lot of walking uphill and sweating because it was still hot. There were some cool days, but then it got hot again. And that was up high, and the scenery was awesome, and of course there are vendors and, you know, trying to get the tourists to buy and stuff, but it was beautiful, and I would definitely love to go again. So there was nothing happening in October. I missed one of my craft fairs at the beginning of October that I always do well, and it was a bummer to miss it, but it was a good reason to miss it. So like I said, I signed up for this one kind of last minute. I figured if I can find something at the end of October, we'll have been back already and I can squeeze it in. And and it was local, very local. It's like the next town over. It took me like not even 10-minute drive to get there. It was a country fest where there were singers, performers, and all that. Again, another place where they had not a whole lot of vendors. I think maybe like less than 10 of us, 10 vendors, and a couple of food trucks, I think. The people who there, I heard a lot that they didn't know that they were going to be vendors there. So again, that part wasn't advertised a lot. And like I said, it was a country fest, so people came in their plaids and cowboy boots and hats and all that. But it did turn out better than I expected, given that people didn't realize that we were there. The one thing though, it was windy. It was so windy. One person's tent, they had a lighter tent, but I don't think we expected it to be as windy. And at one point, I just heard a girl scream because, no, before that, we got a gust of wind and their tent almost like literally took off. I've never seen that before. I've heard people talk about it, but I've never seen that before. And then the woman next to me, she was selling t-shirts and things. She had a clothes rack, and the wind pushed it and it slammed into my shelf, and that knocked things over. Otherwise, mine held up pretty well, I think because of the weights I had and the way I had it. It did not move like other people's, but this one person's tent, when the girl did scream the second time, the first time she screamed, the first time the tent almost blew off, but then when she screamed, they had their sign. It's a tall pole with the sign that, you know, it looks like a sail. It's on. It goes from top to, you pull up the sign and hook it. The wind took it and it took off like a boat sail. And the girl was standing there and she just ran that way and she was screaming as the sign went towards her. So that was the downside to the whole thing, because you got music, you got people around, and so it was a good atmosphere, even though they didn't know that there was going to be that many vendors there, or vendors at all. So it was good atmosphere, and I ended up selling 23 items. I think I actually made my booth fee based on the things it sold. So I have 3 large elephants in stock. One of them is one of my Make 9 items, but that's not the one that sold. But I sold 2 large elephants. I think another vendor, her husband came and bought it for their grandkids. And again, the embroidered eyes, do the embroidered eyes. More and more, I think people are looking for that. Before, it wasn't such a big deal, but I'm finding now more and more people are asking for the embroidered, things that aren't very, things that are more child safe. So, embroidered eyes. I sold 2 dragons. Again, I've been selling dragons almost at each fair. Squids, I sold 1. I sold 1 turtle, like a regular size one. I sold a T-Rex. 1 hat, a knit hat. It was just a basic, I think I did a basket weave knit pattern. And that one I was just trying to use up some Charisma tweed yarn that I've had. What else? I actually made 2 hats in that tweed yarn. I think I had 2 skeins, and both of them sold, but different fairs. Let's see, puppy dog. That is from that tutorial on YouTube. I sold 2 of those. I think I'd made 3, or did I make 4? But anyway, no, I made 4. I still have 1 left, so I sold 2. I sold 1 octo, 1 loaf cat, triceratops, a duck, and I think it was just a regular duck. And I sold 2 frogs, small frogs. I don't think it was a leggy froggy. No, I think it was the what are the prices? No, it wasn't a leggy froggy, but I don't remember. But I sold 2 frogs. I have smaller frogs, different types. I sold 1 mini turtle and 1 chicken. It was a small one. I think I was doing something and I had leftover yarn and I just made a tiny chicken. And then 1 stingray, one of the Shea Dew stingrays. And then I sold 2 French cows. Like I said, it's been the year of the French cows for me. I sold 2 shawls. A mystery shawl, I forget what the name of it is, but it's by Not Bad Brit, where it was a basic single crochet shawl, boomerang type shawl, but it was done as a mystery crochet along, and I used some was it the silk alpaca yarn that I had from Craftsy, when Craftsy was Craftsy. Yeah, when they were going away before Blueprint bought it, I had yarn, so again I got to use old stash, and that sold. And at that fair, because it was windy early in the day, and as the day got later, it the temperature started to drop, and both shawls that I sold were people who were cold. And this woman, the first woman bought the Skylark shawl, which is part of my Make 9, and I use an alpaca blend yarn to make that, and it was so soft, and I'm tempted to make it. It took me a while to get into the pattern repeat for that shawl, quite a while actually, excuse me, but I made it in grays and purples. It was just like I said, stash yarn that I'd had for a while. I think again that was Craftsy yarn. I'll have to check and put it on the screen, but she was cold, and not only she was cold, she was there with her son, her grown son. He must have been like in his 20s, and she kept looking at the shawl, and she touched it, and she was just standing there looking, and then her son ended up buying it for her, which was just, it was so cute, it was so adorable. And then she was walking around, and she was just so, she loved the shawl, she loved the feel of the shawl and everything, and she put it on. She didn't even want a bag, she put it on. And then as soon as she walked out, there was another woman who I'd seen. She was there with her husband and some other friends, and kept walking back and forth, and I guess she was watching the woman in my booth buying the shawl, and then she came over, and she thought I had another one similar. My shawls are no two are the same. It's just whatever yarn I have at the time, whatever pattern I feel like making. So there's hardly, the only thing I usually repeat is a virus shawl, my Yvette shawl, and what's the one? The Big Sky shawl, because it's easy. Those are the shawls that I typically do repeats on. But she liked the colors too, but I didn't have another one, and she kept looking at that mystery shawl from Not Bad Brit, but they weren't quite her colors. They were definitely fall colors, and it were totally my colors. And then she walked away, and not even 5 minutes later she came back, and plus the price, because it was the material, it's, you know, it's like silk and alpaca, so it was priced, I wouldn't say it was priced accordingly, but I charged $100 for the shawl, and she, you know, she hemmed and hawed about it, and then she eventually ended up buying it, and I saw both of them, you know, cozying up with it as the day went on. So it's awesome. I get such a kick when one of my shawls sell, because I've been in shawl mode for almost 2 years now, and I don't see any stop to it. I want to make all the shawls. It's the shawls and the amigurumis I'm in right now. All right, so that was number 4. Number 5. That was yesterday. It's a craft fair I've done before. I think I've done it like 5 years. And then we didn't do it the first, when things opened up after COVID, they didn't have it the first year. The next year, they had it last year. But it's always been, when I've done it, since I've been doing it, it's always been the beginning of November. But last year, they moved it to the end of November. And when I mentioned that to the person, I'm like, oh, it's for as long as I've been doing it, it's always been the beginning. She said, oh, it moves. Hasn't. I've been doing it for like 5+ years, and it had always been the same time frame. And I was already booked to the date that they had moved it at the end, so I couldn't do it. And the fair that I was booked at has been doing well for me, so there's no way I was going to not do that. Whereas this fair was kind of, I wouldn't say hit or miss, but it wasn't doing as well as I wanted it to. So because they moved it to the end of the month last year, and she had said that they, you know, the dates tend to move. Like, again, like I said, it hasn't moved in all the time I've done it. I figured I wouldn't be able to do it this year, and I forgot about it. And then it was late when I messaged them to see if they were, actually no, something came up on Facebook about the fair. So I messaged the person saying, hey, do you still have openings? And she said yes. And I had messaged her because I realized it was back at the beginning of the month. So I told Father Minion that since it hadn't been doing so well as I wanted in the past few ones, that this will be like my litmus test to see if I will do it again. So I was very prepared to do it and not be the last one. Well, call me surprised, I did twice as well as I've done before. So I ended up selling 82 items there. Where do we start? I sold 7 2-button cowls there. What else? I'll do the wearables first. 7 2-button cowls. I sold 1 Bricks and Hearts hat, my pattern. I sold 2 triangle cowls. Those were looked at a lot. Quite a few people talked about, I heard saying, oh, they could make it. I'm like, good luck to you. In my head. I didn't say that out loud. Like, a lot of the people who crocheted, a lot of them said, quite a few of them said, you know, they basically know like single crochet, double crochet, or one just double crochet. At a previous fair, I actually took like 5 minutes to show someone, because she was saying, oh, she wished she could make this. Not my French cowl, but just in general. And she couldn't even tell me what stitch she knew. And when she was explaining it, it's basically the single crochet. A lot of people, I guess, stop at the single crochet. So I showed her what the different stitches look like, and how, like, if you just do a little sample, you do single, half, double, treble, double, treble. I showed her how, you know, you can do different things because you have increasing heights of the stitches. And she was so like, oh. And people still ask me if I do lessons, and I'm like, yeah, if I didn't have a full-time job, I'd think about it, but no. But yeah, quite a few people I showed different things. Yesterday I showed a woman who's telling me how she loses stitches, and like I tell everyone, stitch markers are your friends. Use them at the first and the last stitch so you don't miss that when you go, because it's easy for things to get too tight and on either end. But there have been fairs where I've handed people stitch markers of what the different ones, because I usually carry the different types with me and what they're good for. But anyway, my Jamar shawl, the first one I made was for the Make 9, which was a very colorful one. I've since made 2 more. The second one I made was in shades of lighter pink color, and that one sold. And the woman was just so, she was so happy with it. It just made my day. Made my day. What else? And I sold a headband. Like I said, headbands not doing so well. Okay, what else sold? I sold 3 axolotls. I sold, what else? 2 bees. One, the sitting one, that's a Instagram pattern, and then one, the regular shape. I sold 2 capybaras. So like I said, I only have 2 left. One was the pattern from Etsy that I made the bunch of, and then one was the one-off I made. I think it was off of a YouTube tutorial. I sold 1 jumbo cat, which was my Make 9. For my Make 9, I had a grid for amigurumi and a grid for shawls. And I sold my jumbo cat, and that was an Etsy pattern, I think from Toy Pattern AU. Dinos. I sold 8 dinos, 3 of which were Triceratops. I sold 5 of the dragons. Let's see. My mini dragons. Yeah, those were all from that YouTube tutorial. That person no longer does, I think, tutorials. All her patterns are now paid on Etsy. So I think the tutorial is still up on YouTube. I did write down the steps, so I have them because I'm not always able to bring up YouTube and follow along. So I wrote the steps down. But you can also buy it on her Etsy shop. But that's been very popular, and I think him made both. I made both styles before, and it's the same body, but you can make 2 different wing styles. I generally just do the regular wing styles. Ducks, I sold 4 regular ducks. Was one of them a mallard? I think that was my last mallard. And then I had a large duck. I think it's a tutorial by Rose and Lily that I just made into a mallard color scheme. And I sold that. Yeah, it was. I sold that yesterday. It was a pretty big size one. Most of my ducks I sell are like this big, but this was like a full size duck. I sold the goose from Crochet, the one I said that I made a mallard style, and then a hot pink. The hot pink sold. This girl was buying for, I guess, I'm not sure if she was buying for family or friends, but she was there with 2 other girls and I think her mom, and I was just hearing, I can get this for this person and that for that person, that for that. It was awesome. It was awesome. This fair was one that was, it's been good as far as, what's the word I'm looking for? Attendance. It's always been good. It's just been shoppers actually purchasing stuff has been, hit or miss. But yesterday was just, I don't know, it was from the minute we started. I started late. For some reason, I set my alarm thinking that the fair started at 10 and it really started at 9, so I was already at least a half hour late getting up. And so I usually like to get there early enough that I have at least an hour and a half to 2 hours to set up. And I had about an hour by the time I get there to set up. So I was hustling and I was hot flashing and I was just miserable. But I got to, and I didn't have my usual space because I wasn't there last year. So where they put me turned out to be very good because they saw me. I was right next to the cookie, the fundraiser cookie place where they had coffee and stuff. So I was right next to them, and I was basically almost the first booth when you come in. So people saw me and they either stopped or came back, which was good. And then I ended up being right next to a friend. I end up seeing her twice a year at a couple of fairs, and I ended up right next to her, so it was a good day. And people were, and at one point they're like, 5 minutes to open door, and then they go, we got 1 minute, and then I heard saying, can we open the door? And I'm like, I'm not ready. Because I wasn't completely finished setting up, I was almost done. Because of where I was, I couldn't put up any of my shawls. So I only had one on the tabletop mannequin that I put on bandana style, and that actually got me the one shawl sale that I have there. But I couldn't put up the rest of my shawls, otherwise I think it would have been an even better day if my shawls were up. What else? I had a woman, she asked if I had other shawls, and I did, and I had her look through my bag. She didn't end up buying it because it was a little out of her price range, but I think if I had somewhere to put up my shawl. I did bring up something to try to, I have a bar you use to do backdrops for photos. It goes up and it's wide across, and then you hang your backdrop on it, and I thought that would work, but I didn't have the space to set it up, so I couldn't do that. That was a bummer. And I have these magnetic hooks that I used at a craft fair last year, and I couldn't find it. I thought I had put it somewhere. It turned out it was exactly where I thought I'd put it, but I just for some reason overlooked it because I put it in a different container than what it came in, and for some reason I just I didn't recognize it because I was next to a door that I think was metal, and I could have stuck those on there and be able to hang up at least a few shawls. Yeah, but anyway, where was I? So the ducks, I sold a small elephant. I sold but there are, I think I sold four frogs. Two of those were keychains. I think it was the palm size frog that I made that I wasn't too fond of the way it turned out, so I made them into keychains, and two of those sold. I sold a knit hat that I made. It's called the Amethyst Toque. I made it out of the Galaxy Thick and Quick, the sparkly one. See how that sparkles in here? That's how like it drew this woman's attention. So it was this and some very colorful yarn that I used together, and she loved it, and she bought it and put it on and didn't even want a bag, and she wore it out. It was awesome. A knit hat that I used, I hold, I think the last one I made was Big Twist Party, which I think has been discontinued. So I have that, and I hold it with latte, and I knitted that. And yep, she bought one. So I sold two knitted hats. A koala. So I had somebody message me if I had koalas or pandas. Said I think her kids or grandkids, I don't know who, wanted fun toys, and they mentioned those. I didn't have any, but I told her where I would be at this craft fair. And then I ended up making like three pandas and two koalas. And she didn't show up, but one of the pandas sold and two of the koalas sold to other people, so it worked out. So I sold one of the koalas and two pandas. I sold two of my monkeys. That's a pattern from, I think, Toy Story UK on Etsy, and I made three, and I have one left. One woman bought one of them. I made it in the Bernat dots. It's like the gray with brown and white speckled dots on it. I made a snuggler out of it, and she loved it so much that she said she has grandkids, but she's gonna buy it and she's not gonna give it to them. So it was hilarious, but that was awesome. Anyway, but the monkey I made, that was a different story. I went off tangent. The monkey was made out of the dots yarn, and that sold. The person, I forget who it was two women, and she was so excited about it. Yeah, she's like, oh, but it's so fluffy, it's so soft. I love good shoppers. I sold one mushroom, man, this is gonna be a long video. But yeah, a mushroom, the pop top mushroom, I sold one. Again, mushrooms are, I think I have maybe like two left, and I'm not gonna be in a hurry to restock those, so it is what it is. So I've been seeing a lot of people do the mystery bags, and I think last December was the first time I saw somebody, and they did mystery boxes. They ordered stuff off Amazon and actually had boxes, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. But a lot of people, I've been seeing a lot more people doing the mystery bags. And Kim, again, Crafty Nomad, she was, I think it was her, she was thinking of doing that. And I'm like, why not? I have some toys that I've been carrying around for a while. They haven't sold. I have keychains, and when I do the spring fair, it's just mostly toys, so I have room to put things out. But now, because I have my hats and stuff and the toys, my space is half, basically. So I haven't been able to put out my keychains. I'm slowly kind of shifting the containers I use. So I have these like baskets that I use, oval baskets, and I'm able to hang them on. So I've sold a couple because of that, but I decided all of the things that I've been carrying around that I haven't sold, and they're kind of like falling to the bottom of my containers, I decided to make mystery bags. And I forget who, I think Kim, you mentioned that you used your thermal printer. And I have 2 thermal printers now. I bought one off Temu when I first started buying off Temu. I don't remember the last time I have. And I may or may not use them again, but I haven't in a while. But I bought one, and after I came, I was excited to get it, and then I saw somebody else's video, and they had a wireless, and it didn't even clue into me. Why didn't I buy wireless? Because my space is a premium. Because my desk is my work desk, my day job desk, and it's a complete mess, and it's got everything on it. Crochet hooks and, you know, yarn bowls that collects everything and all kinds of stuff. And because it's not wireless, I always need to, you know, move plugs around, plug this, plug that. Like, I should have gotten a wireless one. I was so bummed. I'm like, I'll make do. I'm like, you know what? I'll just treat myself. So, at some point, I'm going to do a giveaway. I have the plugged-in thermal printer, so be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a pain to ship, but it's quite weighty. But I don't need 2 thermal printers. I did on Amazon, found one on sale, and there was a coupon attached to it, so I lucked out. So I have a thermal printer, and I tested it. It's wireless. It's awesome, where, you know, I can put it over there and not think about it, and it's not cluttering my desk. And I'd also gotten the holder for the paper, which I was always trying to figure out where to put it, so everything has a place now. All this to say, I think Kim said she used her thermal printer to make her thing, so I decided to do this. So, made this in the app for the thermal printer, and it basically, you know, says mystery bag, and it says one or more small toy and other goodie for $10. So I have like keychains, I have small toys, I have whatever. So I put 2 things in there. Most of them I sell for between anywhere from $5 to $10. I think maybe there was one thing that was $15 that I haven't sold in a while, so I threw in there. But so they get, if I were to sell them normally, they get a little more than $10 value. There's a piece of candy in there, and there's a couple of stickers. I bought a pack of, you know, random stickers off Amazon, so that's in there. Ooh, my light is really flickering, so I hope it doesn't mess up the video. So yeah, and then I also printed a thank you sticker on the thermal printer as well, so score, absolute score. I ended up selling, I made 10. I went to Joann's, I had a 50% off coupon, so I bought the 13 pack of bags. So bags that I guess you can write on there, but I just printed over here, and I made 13. I still have 3 bags left, I think. But out of 10, I sold 4, so I think that's not a bad deal. A couple of girls they were looking around, and then I heard them talking, and then, yeah, but it's a mystery. And then she was asking, is it this in there? I'm like, it could be a toy, but you just never know. That's why it's a mystery. And then she bought 2, and then somebody else came and bought 2. So 4 bags. So I have 6 left. I will take just those 6 to my next show, see how it does, and then if they do well, then I will make up the next 3 bags and maybe make a couple more. But mystery bags, it's a good way to get rid of the things that aren't selling for you. Throw it in a mystery bag, and who knows. So what else? I sold 2 mini octos on a swing. You know how they do the little chicks and the different toys on a swing? Well, I made my mini octos, and I just did my own swing. And yeah, one mom bought one for her little daughter, and then she actually put it around her neck, so she was wearing it. Because one was a teenager who bought it for her car, and then the other one bought it for the little girl. I sold an owl. Those are slowly going, so I really need to see if I have the enough of the go for fur type yarns, and it's a good way to use it up, so I might do that, but I don't know if I have enough to do a whole a whole owl. We'll see. Ooh, actually, I may do. I have a gray one, and one of my yarn friends gave me another skein that she had, so I think I can at least get a gray one out. Okay. I mentioned the panda. Ooh, pickles. People have been talking about pickles. I shouldn't say people have been talking about pickles. I've heard pickles a lot lately. So I whipped up literally the night before, Friday night, I whipped up like 5 of them. I didn't use a pattern. I just did whatever. And I sold 2 of them. No, I sold 1. I thought I sold 2, but I sold 1. I'll have to check. Might have been 1. I think I saw somebody with 1. The boy had 1, but he didn't end up buying it. The mom didn't end up buying it for him. And somebody asked, is this a pickle? And he said, somebody said it was, asked if it was something else, but I don't remember. But, I sold 1 snake I had. I had run out of snakes at from my previous fairs, and then I made 1 out of this. Oh, speaking of this. So, I've been really good using up my stash. I was doing really good. I had like gaps. One of the J Marshals I made was, I had Loops and Threads Charisma yarn that I've had like single colors of, I think, 5 different colors, and I used it for J Marshall. I didn't know how it was going to turn out. I actually love how it turned out. So I was using stash, and then went to Dollar Tree, and they had colors they didn't have at my Dollar Tree before, like this one, and this is light mauve. They never had that before. There's a green that they hadn't had before that I got. Red hadn't been there in a while that I got. They have the teal aqua color that they haven't had in a while. I got. Basically, yeah, I bought Dollar Tree yarns. I have a brown bag of Dollar Tree yarn. And then I got the email from Hirschner's, and I purchased 4 times. Hirschner's 4 times. Like, what is wrong with me? But it was like, it was too good. The deal was too good to, you know, they had the clearance ones, the smaller ones. This is the regular size. I think these were like $5 when I got them. And then I made sure I got them when I could either get, because their shipping is usually like $15, like $14.98 or something. And I got them when the shipping was either $4.99 or free when you hit 35 or a certain, whatever it is. I think at one point I had a $2.99 something, but I didn't pay. I either didn't pay shipping or paid very reduced shipping for when I bought them, and it was all clearance or sale yarn. And they have the small. They have the small. So this is the big one. This is the small one. One of the squids that sold, I made 1 out of that. I think I used almost the whole thing. There was a little bit left, but I made a squid out of that one, and this is Mallard Woods. I think that's why I bought it too, because I was making mallards. I'm like, oh. But then I think these were $5, or it was much less than you buy in the store. And it worked out because I was either free shipping or reduced shipping. So I bought, these were $2. So I bought a bunch of these. Some of them are in back order. I need to check with them. The Bernat ones that I bought are in back order. I think it was these, the $2 ones. But I also bought, I have 2 boxes waiting for me to open. I have 2 of these waiting to be opened, and I have another one coming, and the back order coming. But what is wrong with me? And it's, can I open it? It is their, sorry, not sorry. Oh, they are smaller. I bought these Soho Mystical yarns, and they were very light colors, and the reason I bought them, they're much thinner. I should have known better, but they were $2. No, $1.99, $2. This is called Birthday Cake, but they're all in that like flecky light color. And I think I saw Loops and Knots. She was making a dragon. I think her yarn she bought was from Hobby Lobby, but I don't do Hobby Lobby. But they were, the colorway was similar to that. Not quite these speckly, but they were very similar, and I liked, when she was making her dragon, I liked the look of it. So when these were on sale for $1.99, I'm like, so I bought a whole lot of these. I also bought, there was something, I think these were in packs of 7 or packs of 5. Yeah. Holy. Oh my gosh. Sorry, not sorry for the noise, but yeah. I bought, I think they were 6 different colorways, and they came in packs of 5. And sorry for the shaking. It's a full box. I have 2 boxes, and oh my gosh. So, they are thin. I guess you can consider them worsted. They actually have them as a number 5. There's just no way. That is nothing but a worsted weight yarn, and I will be doubling that. So they'll get used. But they're very, they give me baby feels. So there's that. This is Fruit Bowl. The other one was Birthday Cake. And this one has more of a blue speckle called Primary. Oh, that's nice. There's another one in here too. Oh, Baby Shower. Pinks and blues. But not sickeningly sweet pinks and blues. Oh, they're so pretty. They are so pretty. This is Lagoon. And I completely like waylaid because I was talking about the craft fair. But yeah, these will be doubled for whatever I'm making because they're just too thin to use by themselves. Pardon me. Alright, let me finish the craft fair. Where was I? Where was I? Did I tell you? Oh, did I make possums? I think I stopped at pickles. Possums. I sold 5 again. Now, I have a picture of, I was doing something and I looked up and this girl was standing next to me. She must have been like teens, late teens. And she was just standing there and she had 3 possums in her hand, like looking that way. And I turned, when I looked up, I'm like, it just, she just made my day. It was early in the day. I think it was, we were about a little over an hour into the craft fair. And I had almost reached my goal like 2.5 hours into the craft fair, which is mind blown. But she had it in her hand and I was just, yeah, I should have known that was going to be a good day because that just gave me all the feels. And she was so happy. I was so happy. So 5 possums and 3 of those were just her. And that's when the woman, afterwards, the woman came back and was asking about the possums because she wanted to buy as a joke from the one that got into their house, and they were all gone. I was all out. So I gotta stock up on possums. What else? 2 squids. I had 3. 2 of them sold. Stingrays, I sold 5. 4 of them were the Shea Do, the mini ones. And then 1 was by Teresa's Crochet Shop. I had 2 of those, 1 sold. And then 7 mini turtles. The mini turtles I made with Posh yarn. I use the light brown color. I don't know what it's called. I don't know the colorway, but I got the new colorways that they have. I was trying to make 1 out of each. I had a yellow, I had the hot green, the neon green, the neon orange. I made 1 in the neon pink. I don't know if there's like a turquoisey blue color or a Tiffany blue color. I don't remember if I made 1 out of that. I also just got another I bought like a raspberry color and like a pink color. Like Friday on my way home from work. I ordered and then I picked it up on my way from work, which I didn't need. You know, that space was empty, almost empty, and I just filled it back up. And then green. And then I mixed these 2 colors for a shell. was trying to use up the scraps, but I'll be able to make more out of that. I'm going to make a set with this as the body and then other colors as the shell. But all the others had like that brown, like baby bear color brown as the body. I didn't even get to take a picture of it because I made them between Thursday and Friday. One I gave at work to one of my colleagues. She has a leggy froggy that I gave her earlier a few months ago. Now she has a mini turtle and a dragon. So the dragons, there's a tutorial on YouTube that I just found, and I have to watch it again. I made 4. I gave her one. I made one Thursday night, gave it to her Friday, and then at work I made another one, and then when I came home I made 2 more. I was able to take 3 pictures of 3 of them at work. They're gone because I can't post them anywhere, and the one I took at work isn't the greatest picture, but it's a YouTube tutorial. Hopefully I will put that down below. The reason I need to look at it again is hers, it must be her tension, and then this tends to give you really tight, the Posh tight stitches, which is good, because I think if you use a larger hook you might get holes. But hers, the head is very low on mine, which isn't a problem, but hers in the picture, like the legs are much bigger, and I'm trying to do more stitches in the double crochet bobble to try to lift it up, but I gotta look it again and watch it again and see what she's doing. But anyway, I made dragons out of that, and I'll pop the picture in that I took at work. And then this, I was making a pickle. Like I said, I'm not using any pattern, I'm just making a pickle, and I ran out. Lost it, yarn chicken. So that is one of the colorways that I bought on Friday on my way home, so I can finish the pickle because I got there. But the pickles I made, so not only did I buy from Hirschner's with the Bernat blanket yarn, but I went to Joann's and bought greens because I'm like, ooh, I'll make pickles. I'm like, why do I need that much green to make pickles after I bought it? So I bought 2 different Bernat. One is Big Twist of greens, and then I have the green for the Posh. So needless to say, I've been on a bit of a retail therapy binge because, you know, work in life and menopause and everything is just doing a number on me, and I am just finding my happy in yarn yarn buying. The downside is there's a pile as I'm working, there's a pile on the floor, and I was doing so well keeping things organized, and not so much anymore. So yeah, I need to get on that. I'm crushing my mystery bag. I like this idea. I mean, I can't believe we didn't think of it earlier, but it's a good idea. Ways to get rid of, not rid of, but to move stuff that hasn't been selling. You know, give people an option, see if they'll like it. I did just get an email from somebody. There's the mini frog. It's like the little loaf with the 2 little legs in the front and 2 on the side. It's on Instagram, and I made, I think I did it out of Posh. I made a bright pink one, an orange one, a green, I think 2 green ones, and those are some of the mini ones that sold. I think I'm all out. And the woman, her daughter bought it, her teenage daughter bought it, and she went to a different fair and she thought she had it in a bag and she lost it, so she's asking if I have any more. And I'm gonna tell her I don't think it's worth something that should be shipped, so if she can meet me somewhere I can easily make them, or let her know when my next craft fair is. But I don't feel comfortable, you know, shipping something that small and paying shipping for that, and I'm not gonna eat the shipping costs. So anyway, so wait, did I finish? Hold on, I lost my paper. 1 second. Okay, I don't think I did the wearables. Did I? Nope. I sold 1 Bricks and hearts hat. With all the others I sold before had no pom-poms. I sell the pom-pom ones, obviously a different price because I make the pom-poms, and that, if you've ever made them, that material costs a lot of money. I sold 2 fringe cowls. Oh, I did tell you, the Jama shawl and the headband. I did mention that, yeah. So, 82 items. So, all in all, it has been an excellent craft fair season so far, with the exception of Framingham. That was my 3rd one, and only, I think, it's only because it rained. If it hadn't rained, I think it would have been an excellent day as well. So, yeah, last year we had a lot of lookers and touchers, and not so much buyers, and it seems like people are buying, and I've had very few people look the other way or made a comment about the prices of things. Yeah. At this fair, there's somebody I follow. She does soaps and chapsticks and skincare, basically. And she was also talking about the price of things, how it's increased a lot. And then there was a woman across from me who does retail costs. No, she does hand towels and aprons and those types of things, sewing stuff. And she was talking about how the fabric price has gone up, but she hasn't, only on a couple of things she said she's brought up her prices, because she has repeat customers, people who know her, but she hasn't put up her prices, and people have noticed. But she was saying that, yeah, the prices have gone up. So we know everything's gone up. Yarn that used to cost like $1 something, now it's like $4 and something cents now. So yeah, I try my best never to do any shopping unless it's absolutely necessary, if there are no coupons involved. So Joann's coupons, when they do the receipt and you get a coupon at the end, if you have multiple of those, you can only use one of those. You can use that coupon from the receipt and the app, or another coupon they had online, but you can't use 2 coupons from the receipt in one transaction. So you can separate it, which is what I did, but only one of those receipt coupons at a time, FYI. Tell me how I know that. But I was able to separate it and use all my stacked coupons elsewhere in different ways. I had rewards and blah blah blah. So yeah, my job is to stay out of Joann's. Don't buy any more posh yarn unless it's a color that I've used up, like that brown I used for the turtles. It's very dilapidated, so I know I'm gonna need one of those, but I have a lighter brown too, so I think I'm good. I'm definitely good. I'm just waiting for anything I bought to come in, but other than that, I'm good. I've gone through a 20-pound bag of fiberfill. I'm on my second 20-pound, not bag, box of fiberfill. So, I'm good. No more shopping. Remember I said that, alright? You guys, remember I said that. No more shopping. You're free to shame me if I say I bought any more. Anything I bought, I'm just waiting for it to come in. Unless I need something, you know, like I lose it yarn chicken, and that's about to go off on me. So, don't let me buy any. It's going to be a very long video, but don't let me buy any more yarn. Okay? I have enough. I don't need any. Alright? I just bought white when I thought I was out, and I already have. I have 3 different types of whites. I have the Posh, I have Bernat, and I have Home Slim. And they're different thicknesses, so I needed. Ooh, and Walmart has one too, and I think I like that one, the thickness of that one better. So, no more yarn, okay? Remember, I said that. No more yarn. Not anytime soon. Not unless, not unless there's an awesome end of year clearance sale that you just can't pass up. But new yarns, I haven't been looking at the new yarns. I did buy. I lied. Line Brand, the Mandala yarns came out with earlier, a few months ago, came out with a new colorways on the existing lines, and I'm doing the Mandala ombre because I love that yarn. I love the way it transitions. I love the colors. I love that yarn. I love the feel of it. And I decided to, I swear her name was Tansy, but it's not Tansy. But she's from Crime Scene Knits. She likes the mandala, the regular mandala yarn, and she's doing a shawl out of each of the colorways, and I love that idea. And because I love mandala ombre, I decided to do the same. So I've done 8, and I'm on number 9 now. But all this to say, I bought the 2 new colorways. That line only came up with 2 new colorways. So they had 11 and now they are 13 or whatever it was before, but they came out with 2 new, and I bought them, and then I came home and I realized I'd already had it. At least one of them I already had. But I bought it with a coupon, so it's alright. Okay. Yeah, I need to go do something with this mess. Who am I kidding? Nothing's gonna get done with this mess, not anytime soon. As long as it's a path so people can walk, we're good. Okay, quick, let me see, look through my, looking through my, whatchamacallit, camera roll. I am testing out putting things on Etsy. I always say at the end of craft fair season I will put like at least the toys on Etsy to try to sell. I never get around to that because by the time we're done, I'm done because work is going full throttle at that time. But I put up 4 Octos on there just to see, gauge, and funny enough, I showed up in one of the ads. I was on and I clicked on something and an ad popped up and my Octo was there because it usually pops up with like patterns that are on sale because you know, it's reading cookies or whatever and see what I've clicked on, so it shows the patterns that are on sale, but my Octo showed up in the corner of one of them, so which was cool. So I want to see, and I did it as free shipping in the US to see what that would be like, and we'll see if there's any interest in that. But yeah, I'm trying to see what else did I miss. The dragons, I did take pictures of the dragons. I'll have to post that. I did Halloween Octos, those didn't sell. I wasn't gonna do, I try not to do too much Halloween stuff because if it doesn't sell at the craft fairs around that time, then you're stuck with it for a while, so we'll see. I will hopefully put up pictures. I had my niece do a little photo shoot for me with my French triangle cow. Oh, she's so adorable. She was so adorable. And then my niece did a hat photo shoot. So if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen all of those already. Those did get posted. Yep. And my little niece, I had to go to Boston for a week, and she was into everything, and she was trying to help me crochet. I have a picture of that. We'll see. Okay. Nope. Holiday pictures, the hot dogs. Yep. I don't think I've missed anything. I've just been making. Okay. I think that's it. This is gonna be a beast to put together. But yeah, thank you for watching. My tea is well and truly, I'm sure, cold. Yeah, I'm not even gonna sip that. I'm not a cold tea drinker, unless it's summer. What else? That's it. There's a mess. I said that before. Thank you for watching. Thank you if you are new here. Like I said in the beginning, welcome. Subscribe if you want to. If not, I'll see you around. And all you guys who keep sticking around, I appreciate you. And I will talk to you later.